All right, thank you for joining Keto Friendly Joe. Yesterday I had said in the video that we're going to talk about the timing of when you eat. But I had a couple of questions yesterday that had come in based off the videos that were watched, which is great. I mean, I love that. So I'm gonna push that off to tomorrow. And instead, today, what we're gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about how you calculate your carbs. So I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm gonna go a little bit further about the caloric intake and the carb intake and what the difference is between those two, because you want to pay attention to both of those, especially if your goal is optimum health through weight loss. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Optimum health through weight loss. So from a caloric standpoint, your goal to lose weight, you have to. You can't. This is not an optional item. You have to have less calories going into your system, than what you're burning on a daily basis. And there are a bunch of calorie burning calculators that are out there on the internet. Just Google calorie burning calculator and you'll find different calculators that are out there. Or you can utilize the Carb Manager app, which also allows you to input activities so that you can get an estimated caloric burning calculation. All right. And like I said yesterday, you have to ingest 500 less calories per day to lose 1 pound over the week based on what you burn on a daily basis. So if your target is 2,000 calories, then you need to burn 2,500. Okay, keep that in mind. And just from a resting state, you start at 1,500. So any moderate activity will add to that. So that's what you want to work on first. That's rule number one. And you can't lose weight without rule number one. Rule number two, the carb side. Now the reduction in carbs does not necessarily equate to lost weight. What it does is it equates to a physical state called ketosis. This is where ketones are released into your bloodstream and burn the fat. You're utilizing your ketones, and into your intestines, or wherever it goes. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, and I'm just going off what I read. I'm trying to teach you this. The reduction in carbs helps you get into ketosis. Once you're in ketosis, ketones then burn your fat for energy rather than burning the carbs. That's where you want to get. That's the optimal position to be in. All right, so now that we know that, let's figure out how to calculate those carbs so that we can get into ketosis and stay in ketosis. It's easy to get kicked out of ketosis. Whenever you plateau in your weight loss, especially if you're doing ketogenics, whenever you plateau, it's likely that you've been kicked out of ketosis. So I want to share with you some things that I have in my fridge, some things that I have in the cupboards. I want to dispel some myths, and we're only going to take a maximum of 10 minutes of your time today. So wish me luck. All right, let's start off with myth number one. All cereals contain fiber. No, that's not true. In fact, let me show you. I have Crispix. Here. And let's get nice and close here. I think it looks backwards on the video, but you guys can see what I mean. The carbohydrates here come out to be 25 grams. And if you notice here, dietary fiber, 0 grams. All right, when you're calculating your carb intake, the most important part is net carbs. So net carbs equals, and are you ready for this? You might want to write this down. Net carbs equals carbohydrates, which in this case is 25, minus dietary fiber, which in this case is 0. That means that every serving, which is 1 cup, every serving contains 25 grams of carbohydrates or sugars or sugar-like things. Again, not a scientist, not a doctor. That means 25 grams of carbohydrates. Now, to get into ketosis, most of us, after we put our information into the Carb Manager, tells us that we have to be at 25 carbs or less. So no cereal. Let's look at Ritz crackers. All right, Ritz crackers. So again, you would think that crackers, because it seems like a fiber type thing, might have fiber in it. And it does. It has less than 1 gram. So one of these sleeves of Ritz crackers right here, one of these sleeves, has 26 carbohydrates in it. Also 220 calories. Look at that, 220 calories. But 26 grams of carbohydrates. Now, because it has 26 grams of carbohydrates, that means that this also is a no-no. Now, you're probably wondering, like, well, wait a second, if you guys are losing weight, why do you have these items in your house? We have kids. We have kids. We have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And we have other kids as well that come in. And it's important that they get carbohydrates in their system as they continue to grow. But once we're done growing, that's when we start losing. That's when we need to get back. See, if you're really inspecting, you probably saw that I have Oreos. Oh, God, do I miss Oreos. I love those Oreos. But again, I'm not going to treat myself to an Oreo. That's for my 4-year-old who loves Mickey Mouse as well. And just to be clear, this actually has 21 grams of carbohydrates per serving. 21 grams of carbohydrates. But a serving, if you'll notice up here, is 2 cookies. Kind of funny, right? Kind of funny. All right. So to show you the math, I want to share with you another product that we have. So this product you can find on Amazon or go to, have it upside down, or go to stokabar.com. Stokabar.com provides you with these really neat little like vanilla almond bars. And on here, you'll see that it says less carbs. Well, let's put it through the test. Let's do the math on it, right? So on here you have, from a carb standpoint, you have 19 carbs. That's a lot of carbs. Do you see that? 19 carbs. But then if we look at fiber, it shows 5 grams. But then as we continue to go, we'll see that the actual sugars, the sugar alcohol, is 10 grams. So fiber 5, sugar alcohol 10, carbs 19. That means it has a net carb of 4. So again, if you're doing the math with me, that makes this a solid food to go after. The Stoko bars. I have others too. And I'm going to show you some other snacks. But there's a couple of things. To help you stay in ketosis, especially if you're a snacky person, you want to do stuff like pepperoni, okay? Like we have, there's no carbs in pepperoni. There's some calories, but there's no carbs in pepperoni. Like I love pepperoni. Here, let me show you. Like these pieces of pepperoni, love them. That's what I snack on. You'll notice that my wife makes hard-boiled eggs for us for the week. Does that. You'll also notice that we have beer in our fridge. Yes, beer in our fridge. But what I'll tell you is that a Miller Lite, 1 Miller Lite in a bottle, 3.2 carbs. 3.2 carbs. That's better than Bud Light that has 8 carbs. And there is plenty of low carb type foods out there. All right. One other thing I want to share with you guys is the Zevia the 0-calorie soda. Zevias, yes. For those of you that have to have the sodas, this has 0 carbs, has 0 calories, and is made from Zevia leaf extract. It's great from a ketogenic standpoint. All right. So I've shared with you some of the contents of my fridge, some of the contents of my cupboards, but I really want to share with you this, okay? I want to share with you this. Because a lot of people have said, oh man, you can't have any sugar of any kind, no chocolates, nothing like that, and that's not true. So what I have here is I have another product for you. This is called the Atkins Indulge, okay? So Atkins, off the Atkins diet, what we have is we have these wonderful caramel chocolates. And if you'll notice here, the total carbohydrates is 22. That's a lot. Dietary fiber, 5. But then down here, sugar alcohol, 15. So if we do the math, that's 22 minus 5 minus 15 for a total of 2 carbs per serving. And 3 of these little bars is a serving. Same story on this as well. It's like a Milky Way. It's called chocolate caramel mousse bar. Again, 2 net carbs. Same exact calculation, except it's 23 minus 9 minus 12. So carbs minus dietary fiber minus sugar alcohols get you your net carbs. The goal is always ketosis. That's the goal. Ketosis. Okay? And I hope that helps you guys out. I hope it helps you understand a little bit more about the math behind things. For you to figure out whether or not you're in ketosis, you have to buy ketone strips. You can get it from Walgreens. I think they're like $6 and you get like 500 or 50 or I don't even know what the number is. But you can go to Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid or any of those. I want to thank you for joining me today on Keto Friendly Joe, and I hope this has helped you out. Leave a comment below, like it, and subscribe.